Although Belo Horizonte is Brazil's third largest city in terms of metropolitan population, not many foreigners come here at all. Now, I have spent the first half of the year 2025 exploring Brazil, and Belo Horizonte is certainly one of Brazil's most vibrant cities. Now, I spent the best part of the month in Belo Horizonte, so in this video I'm going to share with you 5 things that you need to know before you come and visit the city. Now, of course, if you have been to Belo Horizonte yourself, or maybe you live there, do feel free, comment below any tips and recommendations you have for Belo Horizonte. It will help out other viewers of this video considering planning a trip to Belo Horizonte. Now, for me, the first thing that you do need to know about the city is that Belo Horizonte, in my opinion, is home to the best market in Brazil, the Mercado Central. In my opinion, it is better than the one in Sao Paulo. The market is full of these little bars and restaurants serving up food and drink. And when you go to one of these bars, what you want to order is figado com gillo, which is liver with this thing called gillo, which I googled online, and it's called scala eggplant in English. It's kind of like a bitter onion pepper kind of thing. It's not very nice when you taste it on its own, but with the liver and the salty sauce and a bit of spicy sauce as well, it does work quite nice and it adds a bit of texture. Now, if you like cheese, you are going to be in luck at the Mercado Central, because I've never seen so much cheese in my life. Belo Horizonte is the capital of the state of Minas Gerias, and Minas Gerias is very famous for its cheese production. Also, Belo Horizonte and Minas Gerias is very famous for dulce de leche. You definitely want to get some of the dulce de leche there. It's so good, it's so addictive. It's very similar to British fudge. And actually, continuing with the theme of British food items, one thing that we do like back in the UK is a breakfast sandwich with sausage and egg. And one thing you can get at the Mercado Central in Belo Horizonte is a sausage and egg sandwich. So it's called pão com linguiça e ovo, or to use the correct Brazilian pronunciation, pão com linguiça. That accent on the A is so difficult to pronounce for English speakers. Now, these linguiça sausages they do in Brazil, I think they're the best sausages I've ever tried in the world. They're just so tasty. But if I may, let me give you Brazilians a little tip about your linguiça sandwiches. Just put a bit of butter in it, or even better, put a bit of apple sauce in there. It would be so much better if you did that. Additionally, another speciality that you can find at the Mercado Central is this dessert thing. It's called broa de fuba. It's like a little cake thing, and inside the cake you've got dulce de leche and the local cheese there. You may be thinking that's a very weird combination. Well, firstly, they like to combine cheese with dulce de leche in Brazil, and secondly, the cheese is not very strong. It's not a stinky cheddar cheese, for example. And last but not least, probably Belo Horizonte's most famous speciality is the pão de queijo. You've got to be very careful how you pronounce that, because if you say pão de queijo to a Brazilian, they'll probably laugh at you, because pão de queijo means something very different to pão de queijo. You should say pão de queijo. Now, pão de queijo translates in English into cheese bread, and again, it did not seem very appealing to me the first time I heard about this, but it's actually not too bad. It's kind of like a gooey, salty bread. It's not very cheesy per se. Oh, and also there is a buffet restaurant at the Mercado Central too, so lots and lots of food options if you are a foodie. But it's not just food, there are also lots of animals you can go and see. So people come here to buy pets, so there are dogs, there are cats, rabbits, hamsters, birds. There are also other little souvenir shops and jewelry shops too, so definitely get yourself down to the Central Market. In my opinion, it is the best thing to do in the city centre of Belo Horizonte. Now then, let's move on to the second thing that you need to know about the city. The second thing you need to know about Belo Horizonte is that the city is renowned as the bar capital of Brazil. Belo Horizonte actually does have more bars per square kilometre than any other city in Brazil. So when you come here, you definitely want to go and explore some of the bars in the city. Now, personally, I do like my beer, especially my German beer, and it's kind of funny because Belo Horizonte is home to a Hofbräuhaus, the famous Hofbräuhaus brand from Munich, and this is the only Hofbräuhaus in all of South America. As expected, it is a little bit pricey there for Brazilian standards, but certainly not as expensive as the Hofbräuhaus in Munich, let me make that very clear. But personally, I do think it's kind of a cool experience to go to a German bar in Brazil. However, However, generally speaking, the best area for bars and for a night out in Belo Horizonte is this area that I've circled here. So this area is called Savassi. Savassi is a very modern, really nice part of town. It feels very safe there. In fact, if you can book a hotel or Airbnb in this neighborhood, I would recommend that. Though to be honest, as long as you stay somewhere in the city centre, you should be fine. The city centre is generally pretty safe, but Savassi is definitely the nicest place. And if you stay in Savassi, you have the advantage of being near lots of good bars and also lots of really nice cafes and restaurants. In this clip here, you will see what Saturday night looks like in Savassi. As I said, lots of options for places to go. One place that I really like to go is Redentor. Well, Redentor in English, but in Brazilian Portuguese, an R at the start of a word is always pronounced as an English H, so they pronounce it Redentor. They do a nice selection of draft beers here, and this was on a Wednesday night, so it was very busy. Though what I will say about Belo Horizonte nightlife is that Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, pretty much dead. It only really picks up from Wednesday to Saturday, so just a word of warning on that. Also at the weekends, another cool place to go out is Mercado Novo. Now during the daytime, Mercado Novo is kind of like this horrible derelict shopping centre. I mean, it's not even a shopping centre, it's too bad to be a shopping centre. But at the weekends at night time, the whole shopping mall kind of gets converted into a set of bars, and you can get local draft beer and local wine there, and there's loads of people. These clips were taken on a Friday night and it was a really good atmosphere, so I definitely recommend coming here, and I certainly recommend going to explore some of the bars around the city of Belo Horizonte. And by the way, if you are finding these tips useful, make sure that right now you hit the like button, because it does promote the video on the algorithm and it gives other travelers potentially coming to Brazil a chance to learn more about Belo Horizonte and the key tips when visiting the city. So hit that like button right now. But the third thing that I think you need to know about visiting Belo Horizonte is regarding accommodation here. If you are on a budget and you are going to be staying in more budget apartments or budget accommodation, just be aware that a lot of the apartments in Belo Horizonte will not have air conditioning. And actually this is true throughout the state of Minas Gerias. In Minas Gerias, a lot of the buildings are old, a lot of old apartments, which means a lot of these places will not have air conditioning. Now this is something to be really cautious about if you're coming to Belo Horizonte in the summer months of December, January and February. It can get really hot in Belo Horizonte in these months, and if you don't have aircon, that may be a bit of a problem for you. If you do want an apartment with aircon, you'll probably need to pay minimum $40 a night, and you'll probably need to stay somewhere in the Savassi neighborhood, as we mentioned before in the video. Now, I visited Belo Horizonte in May 2025, so kind of Brazilian autumn coming into Brazilian winter, and the weather was lovely. It was around 25 to 27 degrees, sunshine most days. It did not get cold at night, unlike some other towns, especially the colonial towns in Minas Gerias. So I would actually recommend coming to Belo Horizonte in the winter months, because the weather is really nice and you don't really need to worry too much about aircon, because it's kind of a nice pleasant weather. Now, whilst I am on the topic of colonial towns in Minas Gerias, let's talk about the fourth thing that you need to know about visiting Belo Horizonte. I think Belo Horizonte is a fantastic base to go and explore these colonial towns in Minas. So if you are planning to spend an extended period of time in Brazil, maybe 6 months, a year in Brazil, what I would highly recommend is to base yourself in Belo Horizonte for around 1 month. And then what you can do is take weekend trips to some of these colonial towns. So there are 3 key colonial towns that you need to visit when you come to Minas Gerias. So firstly, there is Ouro Preto. Ouro Preto is about a 2.5 hour bus ride away from Belo Horizonte. Secondly, you have the town of Tiradentes, which is about a 4-hour bus ride away from Belo Horizonte. I think I slightly prefer Tiradentes over Ouro Preto. It's really beautiful there. There are cafes and restaurants everywhere. And then thirdly, you have Diamantina, which kind of combines the best bits of Tiradentes and the best bits of Ouro Preto together. It may be my favorite town of the 3. However, it is a horrible 6 to 7 hour bumpy bus ride from Belo Horizonte, but still I do think it's worth it. Now, if you do want to learn more about these 3 towns, what you need to do is you need to press the subscribe button to my channel. I've made video guides on all 3 of these colonial towns. Click the subscribe button and then you can go to my channel homepage, go to my playlists, and you'll see my Tiradentes, Ouro Preto and Diamantina playlists. Watch the videos there and you'll learn everything you need to know about these 3 towns. Now then, let's move on to talk about the 5th thing that you need to know about visiting Belo Horizonte. You need to know that Belo Horizonte is great for green spaces. There are really nice parks and green spaces in the city and around the city that you can explore. It is very different to Sao Paulo in that regard. Sao Paulo, for example, is just this big, ugly concrete jungle. There are a couple of parks. However, Belo Horizonte certainly is better than Sao Paulo when it comes to green spaces, without a doubt. Now, when you're in Belo Horizonte, one place that you definitely want to go to is the Lagoa da Pampulha. It's this beautiful lake and there's lots of green space and you can take a nice walk there. You will find ice cream vendors there and coconut water vendors there. And there is this funky looking church, as you see on the screen here, that you can check out as well. This part of the city is just a really nice part of the city. Green space, lots of gated properties and really nice mansions. It's just a very upmarket place to be. Now, if you want to see the best sunset in Belo Horizonte, you have to head over to the Mirante do Mangabeiras, excuse my really bad pronunciation. You can take an Uber there and then you just have to do a 2-minute, 3-minute walk up the hill and then you end up at the park here. And as you can see in the clip, the sunset speaks for itself. It is very, very beautiful. And perhaps the most famous green space nearby Belo Horizonte would be the Inhotim Museum. It's about a 45-minute drive away from Belo Horizonte. Now, I personally did not go to Inhotim, but Inhotim is, I think, the biggest open-air museum in Brazil and one of the biggest open-air museums in Latin America. It's this big, massive park, which is kind of turned into a gallery. So if you do want to go, I've put a link to the ticket website in the description of this video and also the comment section too. If you click that link, it will take you to the Inhotim website and it gives you all the information on how to get there, how to take the bus there, the cost of the bus to get there, and also the cost of the ticket entry. By the way, if you go on Wednesday, ticket admission is free on Wednesdays, so just be aware of that. And if you are renting a car, you can go to some of the nearby waterfalls outside of Belo Horizonte. So if you do like your nature, don't think, oh, I'm going to miss out on Belo Horizonte because it's a really big city. Even though Belo Horizonte is a big city, you are never far away from nature. And I guess just to finish, a couple of bonus things to mention about Belo Horizonte. I felt quite safe in Belo Horizonte. Just be aware of some of the homeless crackheads that you get in the city, but apart from that, I felt pretty safe here. Especially during the daytime, it's pretty safe in the daytime, but at night time, I would recommend taking Uber if you need to get between places at the night time, as with anywhere in Brazil. Another thing to be aware of, as with anywhere really in Brazil, English is not spoken widely at all. You're going to need to brush up on some basic Portuguese to get by in your day-to-day life here. Also, likewise to other places in Brazil, when you pay with your bank card, you will always be asked credito or debito. You always say credito if you have a foreign bank card, because foreign bank cards in Brazil are counted as credit cards. However, what I will say is that the Belo Horizonte accent is really horrible when they say the word credito, because they don't say credito. What they say is credito, something along the lines of that, credito. And it's a horrible way of saying the word credito, so just be aware they may not understand you if you say credito. You have to say credito, something like that. So would I recommend Belo Horizonte? Well, if you're coming here in Brazil for an extended stay for at least 3 months, for example, I would recommend coming here and, as I said, use Belo Horizonte as a base to go and explore the colonial towns in the state of Minas Gerias. But if you're coming to Brazil for like 1 or 2 weeks, it's probably not worth the hassle, because there aren't a lot of heavyweight tourist attractions here in Belo Horizonte. You're probably just better off spending the week or the 2 weeks in Rio if you are on a short timescale.